Scotty Hardwick, Bogan Plays Cards. Now, for a little while now, I have been trying to work out how I could create a video or plan a video to try and teach you or show you how you could get into the crafting hobby. Now, I was scrolling through the Boxing Day sales on one of my favourite stores, Mighty 8, and I saw that they had for sale something from Army Painter. Now, what I saw was this bad boy here. So we have a Dungeons and Caverns core set. So let's open it up, and after the video I will let you know if I think it's a good place to start.
That Bogan Plays Cards!
Alright, so here we go. Build your own dungeon, etc, etc, as we went through in the introduction. But let's have a little quick look to see what kind of things it comes with. So 7 different Army Painter paints, which is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Army Painter myself. We've got a couple of bases, some cavern base, dungeon base, 3 different brushes, a large one, a medium one, and a wash brush. That could become quite handy actually. That's the hot wire cutter, which could be quite interesting. Now, I should mention that this cost 120 New Zealand dollars. Now, having a hot foam cutter coming in with that sounds absolutely marvelous, because I don't know about you if you've looked into hot wire cutters before. My regular tabletop hot wire cutter set me back at just over 300, so it'd be really cool if you're starting the hobby to get a small little hot wire cutter like that. So that's really cool. We've got some XPS foam sculpting glue. Interesting. I wonder if that's kind of like the PVA that we use. Some scenery sand, so it comes with a little bit of scenery sand and some flocking, some dungeon turfs, which is awesome, your own craft knife, a mixing pellet, some sandpaper, a steel ruler, which is very exciting, and the reason that I really thought that this set was worth buying up and opening up and having a look, we have some XPS foam sheets. Now, usually I get my foam sheets from a hardware store where I have to order it. And it's not exactly the cheapest of experiences. So at the moment I'm looking at this as some really good value for the price that we paid for it. But let's open it up and let's see how good the quality is. There. Right, that's a really good, so that foam is actually a really good size. You won't have to trim it as much. They would make for really good platforms and plates. The other really cool thing is that I noticed it said that the spray paint works with foam, so you want to be very careful when it comes to using spray paint on foam, because it tends to melt it and turn it into all sorts of various noxious gases. However, this particular one, it does say it is usable with foam, so that will be very fun to check out also. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yep, so 6. A little bit dinged up. If we have a little look there, that's okay. We can work with that. And some really good size foam. Okay, so there's 6 smaller ones, and we also have 2. Just pull that out. 2 bigger sheets, all of a very good width and thickness. So that is awesome. Okay, so they're little tufts, still very cool. And if you don't have a static grass applicator, absolutely marvelous to have on hand. Makes life a lot easier. Oh wow, that's a decent size for scenery sand, and there's a whole lot of different sizes as well. That's excellent. That's going to be used a lot for basing. If you have a look, I just released a video where I painted a Fomorian giant, and I used something very similar there to help with the basing for that video. What else have we got? Different tone bases for different things. Yeah, okay, so if we have a cavern, it's obviously made of dirt. It's a different, like a darker brown, whereas if you go dungeon, you go grey, stone grey. So that's really cool, handy thing to have there too. And a little strip of sandpaper, 120 grit. Oh yeah, nice. What else do we have? So it is New Year's Eve, and I would like to take this moment to thank everyone for supporting the content that I'm putting out. If you like more of these, please let me know in the comments. That would be absolutely wonderful. Or if you like some of my other ones, I've tested up a few different types. We've got the scenery making, of course, which is one of my favourite things to do, but we've also got some miniature painting, or the miniature painting therapy sessions, which are always a little bit of fun as well. If you like these kinds of product reviews, please let me know. It's always good, because if they don't work for you, then they don't work, and then I get to know and I can sort of go back to the drawing board. If you do like these kinds of things, then I'll know to do more of them. And of course, these particular things, really important that I know if you like them or not, because they sort of come out of my own pocket to check out. That being said, I probably will use most of this. So these are really, really well. These are good quality brushes. These are really good quality brushes. So that's actually quite impressive. I mean, decent quality brushes generally set you back between $7 and even $20 for a really good one. And these are absolutely magnificent. It might be difficult to tell by the video, but yeah, I'm really impressed, and it's really quite good because some of my brushes are in need of replacing, so that is by itself is really cool to see. Little palette for mixing, I imagine. You can do little bits and pieces. Yeah, that's alright. That's cool. I'm a big fan of my wet palette, of course, but no, it's just it's always good to have an extra tool to do that kind of thing. Comes with a little knife. Handy. Quite cheap, a little cheap plastic by what it feels, but that's alright. Use it to cut things. Wonderful. That's what knives are for. Woohoo! Alright, moving on. The other really cool thing is it comes with all these little plastic things, so I'm sure I can do something with that a little bit later too. Let's see what paints we have. Sorry if the audio quality is a little bit lame at the moment. I was trying to hook up my podcasting microphone that I use for narration to my phone, but it doesn't seem to want to work that way because I do a lot of my recording using my phone. So that's the sculpting glue, and I wonder what kind of paints we got. Dungeon highlights, so we can do like a little bit of a dry brush on the dungeon, so that's kind of cool. Yes. What else have we got? Cavern highlights. Okay, so the same thing with the more of the muddy rock type look. Cavern effect. Interesting. Okay. A little bit lighter brown. So these are 100% work. They're designed to build just your dungeons and your caverns by the look. So as it says when it said dungeon and cavern core set, they weren't joking, but I'm sure, or they weren't lying, should I say, but I'm sure we can do other things. That's cool. So we've got like grotto slime and things we can work with, a little bit of moss and slime and gunk and a little bit of that for texture, so that's really cool. And a subterranean wash, so a darker wash. I think I will do a video soon in the new year working out something that I can make just using these supplies. So keep an eye out. I wonder what that dungeon effect is. Keep an eye out, and I'll see what I can do by just challenging myself to use what has been supplied here, just to make sure that it is perfect for starting. But that is really cool. I'm quite impressed. But of course, the moment of truth was always to see what this hot wire cut is going to do. The quality of it, of course. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so battery's not included. So it's a battery one, it's not power. Interesting. It does feel a little bit flimsy. What's that look like? Can you see that? So it does come with a bit of extra length, so if you do break it, it does look like you will be able to add more. But, oh no, I see, okay. Sorry, so there's little bits Oh, can you see that? There we go. There's little bits here, and the tiny little wire is tied to each side of those, and then held together by a large amount. Oh, let's see if we can get the focus. Come on. Come on. How about if I do that? There. With a large amount of extra wire. So I'm assuming if you needed to, you could tie extra wire to it, but I reckon that would be absolutely nitpicky as, so you'll be fiddling around with it forever. That being said, the wire comes all the way down here, somewhat exposed, and then hooks into the battery. If it works well, I think it's a great way to start. However, we will only find out once I get these batteries in and we do the next video where I make everything with it. But maybe a great starter, but I wouldn't stick around and use this forevermore. I would definitely look at providing you really get into the hobby and you really enjoy it and you like how it works. Definitely recommend this being the first thing that you would upgrade if you're right into the XPS foam side of things, because I think that's going to be quite a difficult thing to use. Nevertheless, I'm not going to knock it till I try it. Everything else looks absolutely awesome. It's all branded Game Master, so I'm guessing that is the brand of these kits. However, it is Army Painter, and Army Painter is brilliant, and I trust that brand quite a bit. So just to recap ever so quickly, we've got the hot wire cutter, we've got a range of different shading paints. That's essentially what they are. So to sound like I'm repeating myself when it comes to the videos that I do when it comes to miniature painting, we go darker to lighter, so you've got all of your different bits and pieces, your washes. You start with black, you can go then to your dungeon highlights. Of course, we're using our bases. We've got our base paints there, which we'll be using heaps for. The smaller ones, of course, to do your dry brushing and things like that. Some what they call XPS foam sculpting glue, which I can only assume is something similar. Yeah, something similar to PVA glue. Except obviously, unlike PVA glue, it'll probably dry in the middle if you have a big surface area, because sometimes the middle part of the PVA doesn't like to dry if there's not enough air going to it. We've got a decent block of terrain scenery sand. We've got some static grass tufts, which is really cool. We've got spray paint that works with foam, so that will be very exciting to use. Really excited about that, because it's always annoying when you're not thinking and then you spray something and then it starts melting. We've got 3 really well made, really good quality brushes, so that's awesome. Some sandpaper, 2 large pieces of XPS foam, and 6 smaller ones. So, providing this works, providing this interesting contraption does the job well, this is an absolute bargain. We've got the paint, we've got the knife. If you don't know where to start when it comes to crafting, and you go into a store and you see all the different things and they're loose, and you just sort of try and pick things up, and you hope for the best, and then you finally get home and realize, oh, maybe I need this, or maybe I should have gotten that as well. This kind of product is absolutely exceptional, because it keeps everything's in one spot. You can just get straight into making some scenery. You can make your own dungeons and caverns before the game day. You can truly start being a crafter DM without really needing to know too much about what you really need, because it's all here. You're not going to melt your foam accidentally with the wrong spray paint. You're going to have some detail, you're going to have some scenery, some scenic textures, some materials, you're going to have some grass, you're going to have well painted dungeons and caverns, and you're going to get some XPS foam, and you should, if this works, be able to cut it really nice and easily too, without having to go out of your way to your nearest hobby shop and spending $300 on a decent hot wire cutter, providing that works, and that is good. But that's everything. Sorry, just finally, bit of a extra edit. I realised that I said that it was meant to come with a ruler and then didn't find the ruler. It was in the bottom. It is a metal ruler. It is in both metric and imperial. Excellent, as you were. So hopefully this video helps you out and has inspired you to start with a New Year's resolution to get into the crafting hobby. It really, truly is one of the most amazing hobbies. It's so expressive. It's absolutely wonderful. Please, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. Just a reminder, this is the Game Master Dungeons and Caverns core set by Army Painter. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
That Bogan plays cards!